What's up everyone? My name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am building a base game only house, and this is a Generations family home. I know that I have built my fair share of Generation family homes, but I just think that they are so much fun to build. And I've never really built one with just the base game, so I figured it would be time to do a base game only Generations family home. So that is what I did. I'm building it in the world of Newcrest, as you can probably tell, so that world also comes with base game. So you should be just fine. However, I did not disable all of the packs for this build. I was kind of filtering for the base game items. So I don't think that I made any mistakes, but I haven't uploaded the build to the gallery just yet. I will do that after I wrap up this voiceover. So I will do one final check before I upload it to the gallery to see if I made any mistakes with the packs, but I don't think that I did. However, initially, when I was decorating the outside of the house, I accidentally placed a couple of flower boxes underneath the windows. And those flower boxes are from Get Together, but I did realize that mistake before I finished up this recording or this video. So you'll see that I placed the wrong flower boxes and they'll stay there for a while, but I'll swap them out for base game planter boxes, so no worries there. But yeah, for the rest, everything should be just base game compatible, so if you have The Sims 4, you can download this house and use it for your personal gameplay, which is also kind of what I built this for. I didn't clutter it up too much, however, it does look very lived in and there's definitely some clutter items here and there. But I wanted this house to be nice for gameplay and easy to use, and yeah, just not too cluttered. So yeah, I think that this house is perfect for Generations gameplay if you're into that. And I really like the way that this house came out. I was highly inspired by a picture that I found on Pinterest, and it was actually perfect because the house has a garage, which for The Sims you don't really need it, but for Generations homes, I always think that garages are very useful because I always turn them into bedrooms with sometimes an extra bathroom as well. So that's what I did for this house as well. I turned the garage space into the bedroom for the grandparents, which I think is nice so that they have their bedroom on the ground floor, which makes it so that they don't have to walk up and down the stairs, which if they're very old, I don't know, The Sims don't really mind that, but I just like to think about those little details for some reason. So that's what I did. And they don't have an ensuite in the garage, but there is a full bathroom downstairs close to the garage, which is for everyone to use, but also kind of belongs to the grandparents' bedroom as well. But you'll see that once we move on to the furnishing of the house. And then upstairs, there is a master bedroom for the parents. There is a shared bedroom for 2 kids. And then there is a toddler's bedroom, and there's 2 full bathrooms upstairs as well. The parents don't have an ensuite, but they do have a bathroom right across the hall from their bedroom, so that, I don't know, it kind of makes sense that that is their bathroom, and then the other bathroom is for the children to use. I don't think I recorded the upstairs bathrooms because they're pretty much identical to the one downstairs, color scheme and furniture-wise, so I don't think I recorded those because that would be a little bit boring. But yeah, we'll see that once we move on to the inside of the house. For the color scheme of the exterior, I was having a lot of fun with it because I was set on using this orangey toned, brown toned, however you want to call it, paneling on the outside. I was switching it around a couple times because I wasn't sure because it's really in your face and it's a really bright color. But I really wanted to use it because I don't think I've ever used that color before. At least not for a whole house, that is. And so yeah, that's what I tried to do and I made it work and I think it looks really nice. It's definitely a little bit different from the color schemes that I usually try to go for. You can see that all the details on the house, like the roof line and the columns and stuff, they're all white still. but I'm going to swap around those colors for darker colors as well. So the whole house, the whole aesthetic of the house is just a little bit darker. And I had a lot of fun with it because usually I gravitate towards using neutral tones and lighter tones and a lot of white for the details on the house, which is what I initially did for this house as well. But then I realized, you know what? No, I want to do it a little bit differently this time. You can kind of see that the house next door to this one, that's a house that I built a while back, but it's definitely one of the classic color schemes that I usually try to go for. You can't really see it right now, but yeah, maybe you'll see it a little bit later on. Maybe you can get a glimpse of the house next door, but you can see that that's very neutral toned and very, yeah, I don't know, light, I guess, in a way. Also some darker details, but still just overall very light. And for this house, I only used 2 different wallpapers for the whole exterior of the house. And usually what I do is I use lots of different wallpapers for every little like detail and stuff. But for this one, I was like, you know what? No, I want to try and keep it a little bit more simple because it is a base game only house. So I figured it would make sense to experiment with that a little bit for this one. And yeah, I really like the way that it turned out, like I mentioned before. And I was also using the platform tool for this one. So you can see that the house itself, it's not on a foundation, it's actually on a platform, so that I could kind of get that split leveling with the garage. So that's what I tried to go for, and it worked out nicely. And then there is the slightest bit of split leveling on the inside of the house as well, not too much, but I think that the kitchen is a step down, and then the garage obviously is a step down as well. So yeah, I think that that makes sense, and it's not too much, but I still think that it looks nice and realistic. And yeah, for the landscaping, I was also having a lot of fun. I used a whole bunch of debug landscaping because I didn't want this house to turn out too expensive. However, it did turn out very expensive. I don't know exactly how much it costs, but I think it comes in at around 150,000 or something, or 100,000 simoleons. I'm not exactly sure, but it's definitely very expensive. But I think that that's also because I only used base game, because base game furniture items are actually very expensive. Like, with more recent packs, we actually got a lot of more affordable furniture items as well, and the base game items tend to be way more expensive than the ones that we got with like recent packs and stuff. And the same goes for like the doors and the windows and all the details and stuff. It's actually all very expensive, so it adds up pretty quickly, which I think is why this house turned out to be so expensive. But yeah, that's fine. If you don't like playing with money cheats, or if you're playing a legacy family, for example, that has a lot of money, then you should be fine, and then you should be able to buy this house, no problem. But yeah, if you want to save up for this house, then that might take you a while, which could be fun for a legacy family as well. I usually like to play that way with my legacy families. But yeah, you can see that I was definitely placing down a lot of landscaping. And as you can see, I placed the little mill box right there, like inside the fence, if that makes any sense, because I really like the way that it looked there. I have not playtested this house yet, so if it doesn't work that way, I think I'll move it around to a spot where it does work, but I kind of like it there. Like the mailboxes, I know that this is very random, but the mailboxes, for some reason, I think they're so difficult to place because they're just so random and they're like right there. I don't know. It's probably also because I am used to having mailboxes mounted to the wall, if that's how you say it, if that makes any sense. So that's why I am so happy with the new mailboxes that we got with Snowy Escape, because those are the ones that you can actually place on the wall, and that makes way more sense to me, and it looks way more like natural, if that's a term that I can use for that. But yeah, I really like placing the mailbox like this for this house, so I really hope that this works. However, I don't think it does, so I might end up changing it Or maybe I'll leave it there for the screenshots, and if you download this house, you can place it somewhere else yourself. I don't really know. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly mention that. I also decided to place a little car on the driveway, even though it's not functional because, as we all know, we don't have functional cars in the game. But I don't know, for the sense of realism, I liked it there. I like that little van because I was thinking that this family is pretty large, so they could use a van if they need to drive somewhere all together. I think that that would make sense, and yeah, I was making the landscaping definitely very lush and overgrown. However, it is pretty manicured, but there's a lot of those low-lying bushes everywhere, so yeah, you can definitely see that there is a lot of plants everywhere, a lot going on. Yeah, they like it like that, is what I was thinking. Or, I don't know, maybe that's just an excuse because I like it like that. I was having so much fun with this house. I built this whole thing in one sitting, which is crazy because usually larger houses like this, I don't know, they take me at least 2 or 3 settings. But this one, I did it all in one sitting, and I don't know what's up with that. Probably also has something to do with the fact that I was using only base game, so my options were pretty limited when it comes to, well, basically everything. When it comes to furniture, when it comes to floors and wallpapers and just everything, my options were a little bit more limited. And sometimes that is just so refreshing because, well, it makes it so that houses are a little bit more easier to furnish because you don't have to think about everything for so long. I tend to get pretty indecisive when it comes to color schemes and wallpapers and floors and stuff. But when I have only the base game to work with, I don't have to be so indecisive. So yeah, I thought that that was really nice and refreshing. But you can see that I have moved on to the interior of the house, and everything inside is very neutral toned, and yeah, there is not a whole lot of like bright colors going on or anything like that, which I liked for this house because I wanted it to be easy and just adjustable for your own taste. Like if you have a legacy family that you need this house for, then you can easily just, I don't know, swap some things around, swap some color swatches around to fit your family and their taste, or your taste for that matter. So yeah, I thought that that was nice. And I was struggling for the longest time with the layout for the family room right here, for the living room right here. I don't know why. I couldn't make up my mind about it. The shape of the house, or the shape of this room, is a little bit funky. So it was a little bit difficult to work with, but I figured it out in the end. The house is not too big by any means. Like the living room is definitely not very spacious, but it's just the right size in my opinion. The grandparents' bedroom is by far the biggest bedroom in the house, but that makes sense because they have the whole garage. Like the whole garage was converted into a bedroom for them. So that makes sense. So yeah, that's definitely the biggest, the biggest room of the house, but the living area is pretty cramped together. So is the dining space, and so is the kitchen as well. And then the bedrooms, I don't know, they're decently sized, except for the toddler's bedroom. That one is definitely the smallest, but you can make it work. Like as soon as the toddler grows up to a child, you can still use that bedroom, but you can't make it into a shared bedroom like the other kid's bedroom, because it's just way too small for that. But yeah, for a single kid's bedroom, it's all right. It's definitely a little bit small, but it's all right. But yeah, here you can definitely see the color scheme of the living room come together. I think it looks nice. I used a lot of those, that warmer wood tone that you can see in the windows and in the cabinets that I placed underneath the television. I used a lot of those colors, and then I used that soft orangey swatch of the couch and the chairs. It's very matchy-matchy, but I don't know. That's just how it tends to get when it comes to base game only homes because, well, like I mentioned before, you don't have that many options to pick from. So I don't know. I just like to take that opportunity and go for a very matchy-matchy interior. I used a lot of whites in the wood tones for the furniture in here as well to just brighten it up a little bit, because there's a lot of beige and brown and gray going on. So I figured I might as well just use a couple or just implement a couple of white accents in the space to just brighten it up a little bit. And I think it looks really nice. For example, this family computer area or this family study area. I used all white furniture and I think it breaks up the space pretty nicely. So yeah, I just placed a computer there. There is no dedicated office or anything in this house. There is just this family computer downstairs. And I also placed a tablet, which I figured would be for one of the kids, or maybe the kids have their own laptops or something. I just didn't place those in the house because I didn't have the space for it. But you can definitely just have your Sims own a couple of laptops and then they can sit down at the dining table and use them or something. Yeah, here you can see that I moved on to the actual dining space. It's very small. I didn't really have the space for anything else other than the table and the chairs. But I did forget to place a couple of windows on that wall right there facing the backyard. So I quickly just placed a couple of windows to brighten up the space and to make it look a little bit more, just a little bit bigger in general. And yeah, throughout the house, I was definitely struggling. Once again, because I was using only base game, I was definitely struggling trying to be, I don't know, original, I guess, with plants and wall decorations and stuff. So I definitely repeated a couple of the wall decorations and plants throughout the house because my options were so limited. So I figured, you know what, that's the perfect excuse to just repeat a couple of the decorations that I had already used before. I don't know, the house is big enough so that it doesn't bother me at least. So maybe I hope it doesn't bother you either. And if it does bother you, you can just swap it out. You can just swap out a couple of the repeated decorations for something else, I guess. But yeah, I've moved on to the kitchen. I like the kitchen. I think it's very cozy. It's a step down, as you can see, from the rest of the house, and I like that. That gives it the illusion that it's their own space or something. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but I just like that the kitchen is kind of tucked away in this little corner right here. In this little area. It's definitely not that spacious, but it works fine. My Sims can actually walk behind the bar stools and of course in between the island counters and the stove area. That's no problem. But I was thinking that maybe it was an issue for the Sims to walk behind those bar stools, but they can actually walk there just fine. So yeah, you shouldn't have any issues there as long as you have move objects activated, then you should be just fine. But yeah, you can see that the kitchen is definitely very tiny, but for a family house like this, I think it's perfect because I didn't want this house to be too luxurious. However, the backyard is very large, so I did decide to go ahead and place a pool in the backyard, which I don't really ever do. For some reason, I never really place pools, except for when I'm building in, for example, Solani or Del Sol Valley or Oasis Springs or something. But other than that, I don't really ever place pools because, I don't know, it's just not too realistic in my opinion. In The Sims it is though, because you can literally place a pool anywhere. But yeah, in real life, not everyone has a pool. But for some reason, because this backyard was so spacious, I figured I would just place down a pool to just give my Sims something to do. It's also great for the fitness skill and stuff like that, and I figured this family would have a pool because, I don't know, I think that they're pretty well off. Even though their house is not that big, I think that they're still pretty well off. They do have some money to spend, so I figured, you know what, why not give them a pool? I thought it was just a bit of fun. But here you can see that this is the converted garage that I talked about before that I turned into the grandparents' bedroom. There is not a whole lot going on in here. I gave them a nice dresser and stuff and just a chair and a mirror and stuff like that. I placed a little ottoman to fill up the room a little bit more, and here I was just playing around with the idea to give them another bigger closet or dresser or something. I decided against it though, so I just placed a couple of decorations in that little step up that enters into the garage, if that makes any sense. And yeah, that's basically already it for the grandparents' bedroom. And then this is the only bathroom that I recorded, and it's the whole bathroom downstairs. So this is the bathroom that the guests would use, or that just basically everyone uses whenever you're downstairs. And it's also very close to, or actually right next door to, the grandparents' bedroom as well. So I figured it would be perfect to function as their bathroom as well. So yeah, I thought that that would make sense. And here you can see that I have moved on to the second floor of the house. I just decorated the entry, well, not the entryway, I mean the landing area a little bit. I placed a bookcase, a functional bookcase up there. There is also a functional bookcase downstairs, but I figured it'd be nice to place down another one. And then here, for the parents' bedroom, I actually had a bit of a struggle. I didn't really know what kind of furniture I wanted to go for because, in all honesty, I don't really like any of the beds that come with base game. They're just a little bit too outdated. The only one that I really like when it comes to the double beds is the cheapest one, which is actually very uncomfortable for your Sims. But I like that one because it's very basic and it has very basic swatches. But for the rest of them, I don't really like them. The one that I placed down right now, for some reason, it's supposed to be modern, but I think it's a little bit weird. However, I decided to just embrace that style and just use it for a change. It was a nice challenge to try and make it work because I didn't really have any other options. I was using only base game, as you know by now. So yeah, I don't know. I just decided to, even though I don't really like the bed, someone else might like it. So I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a try. And I don't know, it probably has something to do with the whole color scheme for this room, but I think it turned out pretty nice. And I gave the parents a very big dresser or wardrobe as well. I just placed, or just kind of merged two of those wardrobes together so that it looks like they have a very big, like, built-in wardrobe right there, and I think it looks pretty fancy and pretty nice. And then this is the shared kids' bathroom, not a bathroom. And I don't know, I really like the way that this bedroom turned out. The shape of it is pretty funky, but I made it work and I think it looks very cute. So I figured, I was thinking that this bedroom was shared by two kids, however, they're not twins. I think that the pink bed is for the youngest child, and then the blue bed is for an older child or a younger teenager, if that makes any sense. They're still pretty childish, but they don't have as many toys surrounding their bed area. The other bed area, if that's how I can call it, definitely has a little bit more toys surrounding it, is looking a little bit more childish. And then the other bed I placed around a little bit more like, I don't know, older kids clutter or older kids toys, if that makes sense. I don't know. You can see what I mean once I place them down. And I think it turned out nice. I don't know. I like the color scheme in this bedroom. I use a lot of whites for the furniture in here as well, as you can see, because I tried to go for that IKEA look and feel. So just the very basic furniture, very basic dresser and basic nightstands that match. So they just probably bought all those items at IKEA a few years back. And I think that makes sense. Like, for a family home like this, you would want to go to IKEA and buy furniture pieces that are not too expensive. However, from what I've heard, IKEA is not very cheap in every country. Which I think is very weird, because in my mind, IKEA is the place you go to for affordable furniture, or for like student room furniture, dorm room furniture items. You would go to IKEA to buy those things. But from what I've heard, in other countries, like I live in Europe, so maybe IKEA is just a very affordable thing here in Europe, but that obviously doesn't go for other parts of the world. And I was not aware of that. I think that is so interesting. So let me know if you're from a place in the world where IKEA is not actually that affordable and pretty expensive. I am very interested in that. You can see that I finally got the color scheme together with the wallpaper and stuff in there. And then this is the little toddler's bedroom, which I think turned out very nicely. I made the kids' bedroom and the toddler's bedroom very colorful because, I don't know, I might as well. I was just having a lot of fun with the colors. I did, however, go for very like soft colors, more pastel colors, and not like very bright colors, which I always tend to do. I really like softer colors and pastels and stuff. It's right up my alley. So yeah, it's what I decided to do for the kids' bedrooms as well. But yeah, this toddler bedroom, there's not too much going on. I gave them everything they would need. Every toy that toddlers can play with in this game, I placed it in here. I also gave them the tablet and stuff. And then I placed a potty in one of the upstairs bathrooms that I didn't record, so you can't see me place it down, but no worries there. I did place a potty that is actually functional and accessible in one of the bathrooms. So yeah, you should be fine there. And then the parents' bedroom actually has a door to a little balcony area, which I just placed an easel for an extra skill building item and just a couple of decorations and plants up there. And then I've already moved on to the backyard of the house. So yeah, the backyard is pretty basic as well, but very nice in my opinion. Yeah, here you can see me swapping around those get-together planter boxes or flower boxes underneath the windows for base game ones, so you should be fine just there. But in the backyard, I placed a chess table for an extra skill building item, and I also placed a grill and a nice dining table. And I made sure that the kids have something to do as well, so I placed the monkey bars or the monkey jungle bars in the backyard as well. And then there's a very nice and spacious pool. I placed a couple of lounge chairs for your Sims to just sit down and relax and enjoy the sun, and a few extra benches outside as well. I quickly realized that the base game doesn't actually have any comfortable backyard couches or anything, or sofas or something. Only those wooden benches or stone benches, which I don't think are very comfortable. But yeah, it's what I had to work with, so I just placed a couple of those, and then I made it a little bit more detailed looking with the landscaping, placed a couple of outdoor lights as well. And then I decorated the front porch a little bit with just some plants and a chair, I believe. And yeah, just a couple extra plants and decorations as well. And then that is already going to be it for this build. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. You can definitely go ahead and download this house off the gallery if you want to. I'm going to upload it right now. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmarysims as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build.